Hello, all. I wanted to share some updates. You may have noticed I less and less post anything about my personal life here on Facebook. And that's because I came to the place a few years ago of recognizing that I live my life for me. And it's not something that I want to constantly be documenting to share with the world. I live for my life for me, and I share that with my loved ones and with my close friends. But um, there is certainly a Facebook community with whom I share a lot of information around my work and my love, my dharma, the work I'm here to do. But there's some big news, and it's starting to leak out there, and people are asking. So I wanted to make a video just talking about what's going on. The big news is I'm leaving Sedona. I've been here 7 years, and it looks like I am moving to Bali. So that's the plan right now, and most likely will be what happens. So some storyline around this. I've been in this beautiful home that I'm in for 7 years now. I've created a sanctuary. I live right on the edge of the wilderness. Here, I'll give you a little shot here of, let's see. Oh, there it is. So that's the live view right now that I'm looking out on, out here into Sedona. That's Thunder Mountain over there on the left. And it's serene, it's quiet. There's javelina out there every day, and deer and bobcat and coyote and tons of bird life, and it's really just a sublime place to live. And and I love it here in this home in this place. I rent this home. I own a house in San Diego, and when I moved here to Sedona, I couldn't afford a second mortgage, especially for a home of this nature. And so I rent here. And about a month and a half ago, I got the email that was going to come someday that said that the owners of this beautiful home are moving back to Sedona, and they're going to move back into their home. And I thought it would be weird if I stayed. So, so I'm moving. And I want to share just briefly a moment about that. Um, that was a real moment for me. That moment of getting that email that said, it was very short. It just said, you have 3 months, end of July is your last day renting that home. You have to move. And there wasn't a ripple, not even a smidge, not even a hint or a whisper of worry or panic or resistance. There was no resistance. It was pure, it was complete allowing, just noticing. Oh, okay, so now that's happening. It's a beautiful place to be, and it's the fruits of this path that I've chosen to walk and that I help guide, of living as the true stillness and peace and grace of consciousness that we all are. So anyway, that was fun when that happened, and that's maintained ever since. All right, so I'm moving. I felt into staying here in Sedona, and one of the recognitions I came to was simply that my time here in Sedona is done. Sedona has been a beautiful incubator for me. When I moved here 7 years ago, I was just starting to investigate how to do this work that I do today, and was learning my way into it. And I also refer to Sedona now as it has been a womb. It has been a womb where the gestation of this body of work that is now alive and coming to fruition needed a safe place to be held, to be nourished, to grow. And now that work is blossoming. And I've got a new course that I'm going to be launching this summer, a beautiful course on, it's called Awaken to Freedom. I have my membership, the Oasis, that is now launched. And I love, love, love doing what I do. It's just, it's my dharma. It's my love made visible. It's my path. So that has been nourished and matured to a place where it is now birthing into the world. And I felt into Sedona, and Sedona said, "No, you're done here. Now the move is to a place where it is fertile ground for the maturation, the growing up of this work, of this business, of this path that I am on, larger and more into the world." So Bali, Bali, because for me, it is incredibly important now that spirituality, that spiritual nourishment is the center of my life. It is the absolute foundation of everything, is the spiritual knowing, the knowing and embodiment of the true spirit of our being. And I want to live in a place where that is part of the culture, where that is part of the community, even more so. Bali is a ripe and rich place where people go to reconnect to their spiritual truth. And so that's why Bali. There's another dynamic of that, in that I'm feeling that to stay here in the United States, there's more density here than I care for. And I'm again interested in living in a place where one of the central points of awareness and attention is on spiritual growth and knowing and awakening. And I'm not finding that here so much in the United States, even in a beautiful place like Sedona. For me, it's mainly just that Sedona was meant to be the incubator, the greenhouse, the womb, and now that time is done. So I am moving back to my home in San Diego for 2 to 3 months, and I'll be putting my home up for sale. And then I'll be selling everything, all my furniture, or at least the majority of it, and my car, and taking all that, the proceeds from the sale, to Bali. And I'm going to be investing in this business. I'm going to be investing into growing my business, because right now my reach is very small. The work that I do only reaches a very small audience, if you will. And I need support. I need help to do that. So I need to invest in that. One of the dynamics that's true in my life is that I've learned how to, and not always for the betterment of myself, I do most of everything in my life on my own. This home, this sanctuary, it's all me. I water all the plants. I clean the floors. I clean the kitchen. I cook all my meals. I feed the birds. I feed the animals. I water the animals. I keep this home beautiful, and because I want to be surrounded by an environment that is loved and loves me back. But I do all of it on my own, and to live in a place like Bali will be helpful to be able to employ somebody to help keep a sanctuary, a beautiful place, nourished and clean and vibrant. So that's going to be nice. And I'm going to spend the first year there. I'm writing my book now. And so that my first year will be dedicated very much to that, in addition to supporting the Oasis membership that is alive, and then launching the course this summer. The other thing is back to the investment, is I'm investing in a team. I'm investing in the people who are skilled, that's their lane, that's what they're good at. that they can take this work that I'm blessed to do and the content that I create and help to distribute and produce and expand that more and more into the world, so that my reach isn't 600 person mailing list and the 600 person YouTube audience, but really that grows, because this is beautiful work and it's valuable and people need it and are going to be more and more hungry for this. So I think there's a lot more different dynamics and such, but that's generally what I wanted to share. It feels important to also just mention that the times we are living in are times of being shown the shadow. It's just like our own personal development work. In order for us to grow, in order for us to evolve, we have to be radically honest and witness all the ways that we're programmed and conditioned to think small, to feel separate, to recognize our own shadow so that we can shine light into it, so we can let it be known in the presence of love, in the presence of light. And that's what's happening on a planetary level right now, and very much so in the United States. And I want to make sure that I and so many others who are doing such beautiful work are prepared to be guides, prepared to have done and continue to do our work, so that when those come and say, my world is crumbled, the constructs that I was holding on to and clinging on to finally have been falling away, and I recognize that I don't want to rebuild it the way it was. I don't want to rebuild my life, my relationships, my way of being. I don't want to keep feeding the egoic self. I want to know my truth. I want to know my wholeness. And I need guides. So it feels to me like Bali is the place for my work now to blossom, to flourish, to expand, to come out of the womb of Sedona and into the nurturing home of Bali, where it can really grow and expand. So thank you if you're still here, for listening. And what an adventure. It's all just such a beautiful adventure. To be present, to keep listening, to know our stillness so we can listen to all the opportunities of where our Dharma wants to lead us and guide us, where our love wants to guide us. So, be well. And I'll share some more updates as we go. All right, blessings.